Good afternoon. This is Math with Mr. Samuels. So earlier, the last video that you observed were integers. We defined the integers. We showed you how to plot the integers, how to compare and order the integers, how to briefly add and subtract the integers. And so now we are going to show you how to multiply and divide integers. Now, before we do that, we want to do some absolute value examples first. Actually using absolute value while doing the operations. Now, one thing I want you to notice that absolute value sometimes can be around both numbers individually, and sometimes it can be around the entire problem. Well, if you remember your order of operation, PEMDAS, or some of you all might have learned GEMDAS. PEMDAS is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. GEMDAS is complete all grouping symbols, then do all of the other operations accordingly as they are listed. Well, we're going to treat absolute value as grouping symbols. We're going to treat them as grouping symbols and always do what's in the absolute value first and then complete the problem normally. So let me show you what I mean. So we look at number 25. We have the absolute value of negative 23, the absolute value of positive 15. Well, remember the absolute value is dealing with distance, and when we're dealing with distance, we can never have a negative answer. So the absolute value of 13, negative 13, is 13, and the absolute value of 15 is 15. So now that leaves us with the problem 13 plus 15, and we all should know how to do this problem, and our answer ends up being, hold on one second, our answer ends up being 28, okay? Let's jump over here and do this example right here. Notice in this problem over here, the absolute value are around both individual integers, and here the absolute value is around the entire problem. So we're going to do the problem inside the parentheses first, or inside the absolute value symbols first, and then we're going to progress. So 3 plus 5 is 8, and 1 plus 2 is 38. So now we have the absolute value of 38. So let me go ahead and write that really quickly. So we have the absolute value, make that smaller. We have the absolute value, make that smaller. The absolute value of 38. And we should all know that the absolute value of 38, hold on, let me fix this. There we go. The absolute value of 38, the number 38 is 38 spaces from 0. So as a result, the answer should be a positive 38. Okay, let's keep rolling. Now we have the absolute value of 21 minus 8. So just like this problem, we're going to do what's in the operation first and then find the absolute value of that number. So 21 minus 8 is going to be 13. So now we are left with the absolute value of 13. And just like all of the other absolute value problems, we always have a positive answer. So the absolute value of 13 is going to be positive 13. Positive 13. Okay. So go ahead and complete the rest of these problems in your notes. We will discuss them more in depth in class, and we will talk about them. And if you have any questions, just put a little check mark around that problem, circle that problem, and we will discuss it in class in depth. Okay. So now for the easiest operations that you will do with integers are multiplication and division. Now, one thing I want you to notice is the rules for multiplication and division are the same. Notice that we do not have separate notes, and that's because the rules are the exact same. So just like with the other problem, we have a set of rules. Well, if we are multiplying two integers that are both positive, then their answer is going to also be positive. If we are multiplying two numbers or two integers that are both negative or both negative numbers, then our answer is also going to be positive. Okay. And so now, last but certainly not least, if we are ever multiplying two integers that have different signs, whether it's positive times a negative or a negative times a positive, then the answer will always be negative. Okay. So remember, when we're multiplying two integers that are both positive, it's always going to be positive. When we're multiplying two integers that are both negative, it's always going to be positive. And when we're multiplying two integers that are different signs, it's always going to be negative. So we have some rules that we can associate that with over here. So pretty much what it boils down to is this. If we have same signs, same equals positive. And I'm going to use differ for different equals negative. And this is what we have. This is the case for both multiplication and division. So let's go ahead and do some examples really quickly. And you're going to complete all the rest of the examples on your own, and we're going to discuss them in class. So we have -9 times -3. The first question you need to ask yourself is, are they the same or are they different? Well, in this particular example, we have a negative times a negative. So they are the same. So we already know that it's going to be a positive answer. And when we have 9 times 3, we should know that that is 27. Okay. Let's do another example. We have -4 times -11. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, are they the same or are they different? Well, in this particular example, they are the same. So once again, we're going to have a positive answer. So -4 times -11 is positive 44. Let's do an example where they are different. Okay, let's look at number 37. Okay, remember, anytime we have parentheses, that means multiplication. Okay, anytime we have parentheses, that means multiplication. So right now we have 8 times -9. Well, 8 is positive and 9 is negative. So they are different signs. So right off the back, we know that the answer for this problem is going to be negative. So 8 times 9 is 72. That does not change. So our answer for 8 times -9 is going to be -72. Let's do one more example, and then you will be responsible for the rest. Okay. -6 times 10. Well, are they the same or are they different? Clearly, they are different because 6 is negative and 10 is positive. So the final answer is going to be -6. Okay. So what I want you to do is go ahead and attempt the rest on your own down at the bottom. Okay, all the way up to 44, and we will discuss the answers in class tomorrow. Now, the great thing about integer multiplication and division is the rules are the exact same. So the same thing for down here. So 63 and 7 are both positive. So since they are both positive, they have the same sign. So we know that the answer is going to be positive. And 63 divided by 7 is 9. Okay, same situation for number 46. We have -18 divided by -9. They are the same sign. So the answer is going to be positive. And 18 divided by 9 is 2. Okay, let's do one where there are different signs. Here we go. Number 51. We have -8 divided by +8, different signs. And we know that 8 divided by 8 is 1. So the answer is going to be -1. Okay. I want you to go ahead and finish the rest of these examples down here in the bottom. And I want you to write a quick summary. So in your summary, I want you to say, what are some easy ways that you can remember the integer rules, whether it's multiplication or division, or whether it's addition or subtraction. Okay, we will discuss it in class. We'll talk about what everybody has. Maybe your way might be really good, a good way to remember it. Maybe somebody else's way might be a better way to remember it. Okay, everybody is different, but we're going to share and bounce ideas off each other tomorrow in class. Once again, this is Math with Mr. Samuels. Have a great afternoon, evening, and day. Bye-bye.